Hello everyone and welcome to another React video. My name is Draven and today we are checking out Orbit Culture once again. And I'm sure you've already noticed I've got this sick ass, it's real nice Orbit Culture hoodie on. And the reason I have that on is at the time of this recording, it's about 4:45 p.m. on a Saturday. And about 19 hours ago, I saw Orbit Culture perform live in Ottawa at the Bronson Center with opening acts Atlas and Of Sulfur. And let me tell you something, Orbit Culture puts on a hell of a show. It was just so well produced. The energy was off the charts. It was a nice little like 500 maybe 600 cap kind of room, standing room only, no sitting down, and it was awesome. Like that's where you want to see a band like this, is like in that tight environment. Like obviously they could play arenas all day long if they wanted to, but I love seeing bands in little intimate spaces like that, and the show was just phenomenal. So I did the same thing with Ghost after I saw them. I was like, well, I'm going to do another reaction because it's fresh in my mind and I want to check them out. And I haven't done an Orbit Culture reaction in a minute. So what I'm going to do is the song Death Above Life, because it's the Death Above Life tour on the heels of the new album that came out. So this is the title track to that album and the tour. This is Death Above Life. And with that being said,
shut up, Draven.
Let's go. This is what they opened with, which makes a ton of sense. So instantly, when that came in, when I was at the show, I was like, oh, this sounds cool. So I was hooked. 10 seconds in, I was locked in for the entire show. They sound exactly like this live. The only thing I couldn't hear at the show was in the background, there's that little I couldn't hear that from the mix, I guess. I was also curious during the show who handles backing vocals. Like, for example, like Tales of War, there's a lot of layered vocals, and it's the shorter haired gentleman. I'll have his name right here, and he did a fantastic job. One thing I noticed is that Orbiculture has a lot of pauses like this, and it really gives the crowd a chance to like get a big scream out for them. So it's a very cool, like, live performance structure for a song. Really lends itself for them to interact with the crowd and the crowd to interact back, and then they get back into the music. Very, very smart writing. And by the shorter haired gentleman, I meant the bassist, who has fairly long hair in this video. Much, much, much shorter now. All right, that was Death Above Life. Let's go talk about it. Like I said in the reaction, Orbiculture really knows how to put on a live show. It was their first time in Ottawa, and they kept saying that they loved the energy that we were giving to them. And I mean, that might be one of those things that bands say at every kind of town or every city, and especially if it's like two competing cities, you know, like Montreal and Toronto for the Canadians, or like New York and Boston kind of thing, where it's like, oh, we were in Boston yesterday, and all the New York people are like, boo, like, well, you guys are so much better. Like, they kind of pander to the crowds. I'm not suggesting that that's what they were doing, because especially Nicholas, he seemed just genuinely really happy to be there, and like just really feeling the energy coming from the crowd, because we were going, like, the crowd was right into it. We were nice and loud for them, so it was pretty cool. That being said, the two openers, and I'm just kind of giving a little story here. So the two openers, first it was Atlas. They're from Finland. They were good. Nothing too crazy. Like, just, you know, your what you'd want out of a metal band. There was one song that really stood out to me, and I believe it's called "I Whisper Your Name Like a Curse." And I might do a reaction to that one in the future, because it was so different from everything else that they were doing, and it was kind of like one of those, you don't know where the last song ended and the next one began kind of thing. Like, they all kind of had that same feel of loud, and then there was this one kind of just tattooed right in the middle, and it stood out like crazy. So I might check that one out. And then there was Of Sulfur, which is OV Sulfur, and they're from Vegas, and that is a turn it up to 11, just loud for the sake of loud band. Like, they had like an intro song. It was, I don't know, 30-45 seconds of just like getting people hyped up, but the singer just made noises. Like, the screamer, he just made no. And this guy, he was built like a house, dude. It's like if Brock Lesnar was a metal singer. He was jacked, but he just did like a lot of pig squeals and like almost like Will Ramos kind of goblin noises and things like that. So nothing really intelligible that you could hear. Like, he wasn't saying words, he was just doing noises. And I was kind of like, okay, like, is that what we're gonna get? And that's kind of what we got out of him. But come to find out, in the later songs, he actually did some like kind of raspy singing, and I was like, holy do that. Like, you know, obviously if you want to be a metal band and you want to have that like really like heavy sound, go for it. But at least for my taste, if you're gonna throw in some of that like nicer screaming, like, it was still screaming, but it was like singing screaming, kind of like what Nicholas does for the most part. And I was like, holy shit, brother, do that. Like, you will go so much further if you do that. Like, you're gonna get your niche with the heavy stuff that you were doing, but God, you could dial in that stuff. Like, dude had a great voice. There was a couple of backup singers that also had great voices that were lending themselves to him. So yeah, I think with a little tweak like that, it'd be something I would listen to a lot more. But there wasn't really anything that they were doing that really caught my attention. And then here's the point, the long way around to get to my point. And then Orbit Culture came out, and you could just tell they were here. Like, there's the opening bands, and then there's the headliner, and holy shit, production value, just the sound quality, the lights, the, you know, just everything, the atmosphere, like, it was all there. And like, you could just tell you were watching someone that's a level up. And it was awesome. I brought my buddy, like my best friend since I was 3. He's kind of a metal guy, not really, more of like a Disturbed kind of, that hard rock kind of sound. And for the first 2 bands, he was like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. And then when Orbit Culture came out and they started playing, he was like, dude, this is like, you could tell the difference. And that's what I was just explaining just now. And he was like, holy shit, these guys are good. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, I've only heard 3 songs from them up until this point, 4 now. So I've done Tales of War, Hydra, and Bloodhound, and I've intentionally not listened to anything else because I don't want to ruin it until I can do a reaction. And I feel like I can still do it because yes, I did hear the songs, but like, I didn't really hear them like I'm throwing my fist up. I'm not really paying attention. Like, I'm hearing it, but I'm not really taking it all in. All that to say that this was a phenomenal live show. This song obviously kicks ass, and that's how you start a concert too. That's how you start your set is with a song like that. It just gets the mood going. You're right into it. And then I think they played like Tales of War like 3rd, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is one of their top songs, at least for me. It's my favorite song of theirs. And I was like, damn, that's going on 3rd. That seems kind of quick, but the rest of the set list was phenomenal, so I can't really complain. And there you go. That's the reaction this time. And if you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hype it up, and let me know in the comments if there's another either Orbit Culture song or another band like Orbit Culture that you'd like me to check out from across the world. I'm always looking for new music. And in the meantime, YouTube thinks you're going to like this one, so go check that out. And as always, we'll see you at the next one.